A phrase that I throw around quite frequently is the idea of an everyday watch. It's a phrase that doesn't necessarily have universal criteria, but simply a watch that's very suitable for a variety of situations. Having the ability to be dressed up in a suit or dressed down in a t-shirt, it has to be durable, having 100 meters of water resistance to swim with, and ideally a sapphire crystal in order to resist the taxing circumstances that can sometimes come with the everyday. And when looking at this affordable list of watches that match all this criteria, unfortunately we don't really have that many options, but fortunately today, we have a new watch that's throwing its hat in the ring as a contender going forward. Now, Tissot is a brand that I have admiration for as being the brand that allowed me to get into Swiss watches, with the Tissot Visidate being the first watch that I ever owned from a Swiss manufacturer. And I've continued to have admiration for the brand following just kind of the fond memories that came with purchasing my first Swiss watch and opening the doors to this downward spiral into a love of watches, which I'm sure all of you who have been on this journey as well understand what I'm talking about. But Tissot, amongst the entire industry, and especially the watches made in Switzerland, just produced some of the best value for money pieces on the market. And I think this is one that certainly matches that criteria with this Tissot Gentleman Powermatic 80 Silicon. So taking a closer look at the watch from a high level, we have the reference T127-407-1104-100. Case size looking at 40 millimeters, lug width of 21 millimeters, case thickness of 11.5 millimeters, a lug to lug of 48.3 millimeters, water resistance of 100 meters. Crystal, we're looking at a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating and powered by an automatic Powermatic 80 movement with a silicone hairspring. Starting with this watch on the wrist, we have a watch with a decent size of 40 millimeters, which I think is a nice middle ground for a piece of this nature, as I do think it leans a bit more sporty, but certainly would be appropriate in both casual and dress scenarios. Feeding into the points of this watch being dress appropriate, the point of thickness is certainly a strong reason to mention here, as it wears on the wrist rather flat, with its very reasonable thickness of 11.5 millimeters, sliding nicely underneath dress cuffs. Looking at the watch straight down on the wrist, I found that the thicker outer bezel does help with reducing the perceived size by taking away the real estate from the dial. The bracelet comes with brushed outer links and a high polished center link, with it meeting at the underside. Overall, the bracelet did not overwhelm me, so after a while, I just opted to go with the leather strap as I felt it was just a little more accommodating both for the watch itself and the cold weather I'm experiencing currently in Cleveland at the moment. So if it was up to me, I think I would just go ahead and purchase it on the leather strap, unless you're a big bracelet guy and want to have additional options in the future. And the other point of emphasis here, looking at that lug width of 21 millimeters, which usually that's a big gripe for me, the 21 millimeter, the odd number lug width. But thankfully I was able to slide a 22 millimeter strap within the lugs rather easily. So this turned into a kind of a plus here, because I just see this dial, I see this watch, and I just see versatility. So being able to utilize 22 millimeter straps here is a big plus. So it might depend on the strap you decide to put in here, but for the straps that I decided to swap in, it works really well. So I think it takes advantage of the watch's full potential. Looking at the watch from the design perspective, we have familiar Tissot design cues throughout, while bringing some new touches in the process that I think allow this model to separate from other watches from the brand to be considered. One of the first notes of emphasis for me is the high polished, thick bezel that looks just really sleek in reflecting the light in both dark and bright environments. Lying beneath the bezel, we have brushed lugs that contrast nicely with bringing out the dial and bezel, while providing a nice splash of quality on its own with a nice chamfered edge along the lugs, which yes, you will see on a few other models of theirs, but I think this one is just finely executed and is a nice touch in an affordable watch that is routinely made for mass production. For the glass here, we have a sapphire crystal that has an ever so slight dome effect that meets the slanted bezel nicely. Looking within, we have a striking blue dial, and I have to admit, I just love this shade of blue in general. And given its slight sunburst effect, it will play games with your eyes a bit, looking a true blue classification in some areas and looking like a blackened shade matching the ocean's abyss when exposed to less light. With the open space of the 12 o'clock, we have the writing of Tissot and their year of founding in 1853. Moving to the 6th, the writing of Powermatic 80 Silicium alluding to the caliber within, which we'll get to a little bit more in a moment. And at the 3, a nicely executed date window outlined in a stainless steel frame, which I don't want to repeat myself over and over again from other reviews, but I think this is just a great way of elevating the look of a piece, especially at this affordable range, as without it, it makes the date window kind of look cheap looking. And with many other counterparts usually following this habit, usually is probably the reason why I just opt to go without a date window in most cases, but all those concerns are not needed to be expressed here. At the center of the dial, we have a sword style handset with traditional second hand, with the hour and minute hand containing superluminova, matching the plots of lume along the outside of the dial, nestled beneath the applied hour indices. And I think being on the subject of the indices, this is a big contributing factor to this watch looking more expensive than it is. As when you look closely at the indices, you'll notice that each are cut with a slanted bevel edge that give them a more pronounced look while complementing the sunburst dial wonderfully, making quite a bit happen when you rotate this watch in the light. And when wearing this piece around, I actually got quite a few bit of compliments, which, I mean, even being known as kind of the watch guy and people know me for wearing watches, I don't typically get actual compliments for wearing a watch or the watch that's on my wrist. So I think that speaks volumes to what this piece is delivering for the price, as well as maybe catching attention without it ever seeming like it's over the top. Also, I think a lot of the competition for this watch actually comes from within Tissot's catalog, as when I posted a picture on Instagram, and follow me on Instagram if you aren't, someone commented about this one being hard to rationalize getting versus the PR100 with a cost movement. But if you look at the indices for this, the beveled lugs, the handset, and the date execution, all of them just look more premium to me in comparison to that model. And I don't bring up those points as a way to put down the PR100 because I think it's a nice watch in its own right, but just more as a way to add applause to this Tissot gentleman here. Now, when looking at this watch's operation, it acts quite traditionally like you would normally expect from a watch when activating that 3 o'clock crown. As when you engage it to the first position, you can hand wind the movement. At the second position, you can adjust the date window by rotating clockwise. And at the farthest pulled out position, you can adjust all the hands while stopping the balance and second hand in the process. Flipping the watch over, we have an open case back providing a view of the Powermatic 80 caliber. Now this Powermatic 80 is a movement based off of the ETA 2824, and through its modification does vary from the base quite considerably. First, and probably most importantly, the movement takes the traditional 28,800 vibration per hour beat rate and drops it down to 21,600 vibrations per hour, or 3 Hertz, helping to maximize the energy stored by the coiled mainspring to stretch the power reserve to 80 hours. And considering these movements are also commonly sent in to be cost certified, typically I've found they run very well out of the box, with this one running within a few seconds of precise time of day. And when combining this with the added functionality of an 80-hour power reserve, it makes this a very useful caliber during casual wear. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, the list of affordable everyday watches that match all that criteria that I mentioned at the beginning is rather short. We know the Seiko Sarbs of the world, we know the Hamilton Khaki Fields of the world, as well as a couple others that can be mentioned here, but the reason why I love watches so much is just watches' ability to be utilized as a avenue for our own self-expression. And what I've found with the limited amount of choices in this sub $1,000 range of everyday watches, it ends up leading to many of the same watches being seen on the wrists of many enthusiasts out there. And for me personally, I do get kind of exhausted mentioning the same watches as recommendations over and over again. And it's a big reason why I'm a big proponent of the Sark series, the Seiko Sark series. It's not really that they are necessarily any better or worse than the Sarbs out there. They're just different and less familiar, and it's a big reason why I love my Sark 045 very much. But with this new Tissot Gentleman Powermatic 80, and stacking it up against the many watches in this price category, with its great looks, solid size, versatile specs, and accommodating power reserve, it now certainly makes the claim for one of the best everyday watches that you can find for the price in 2020. So guys, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. If you hit the like, that really does help out this video and growing our channel. So if you could do that, I really appreciate it. And a quick question for you all, thinking about all that criteria that I mentioned at the beginning for an everyday watch, what would you choose for, say, under $500 or even $1,000 for your everyday watch of choice? Love to see comments down below. Also guys, if you're in the market for any watches, watch straps, no better places than TeddyBaldassarre.com and Bob's Watches, and using the links in the description to go to those places also supports our show. So guys, thank you again so much for watching, be well, and I will see you all very soon.